because you watched. My name is Ali Ghandour.
I'm Hillary Ann Matthews.
I'm Rekha Shankar.
I'm Jacquis Neal.
I'm Tawny Newsome, and we're all here.
What a party! We got all five of us here. Congrats to us.
Congrats to all of us.
Since all five of us are here,
congrats.
we're going to jump into Digital Diet. This is us catching up on everything we've been watching, anything that was recommended to us if we're watching that. The Last of Us might come up, and if it does, I will leave the room.
Wow. and why is that for people who haven't been listening?
I'm still trying my hardest to dodge spoilers. I know this is going to be futile at some point.
What is the statute on spoilers? Like, I remember when I watched Frasier for the first time, I got it spoiled that, like, Daphne and Niles get together.
Oh my God.
Which
Wow.
and my friend correctly pointed out, because I watched Frasier for the first time in 2014, that it does not count as a spoiler.
Doesn't count.
No,
No,
if the
it's-
show ended 11 years ago.
It's not a spoiler if any pet actors featured in it have since passed on.
Yes.
It's no longer a spoiler.
Okay.
Specific.
And there were two Eddies in that show. It was Moose and Enzo, his son.
Wow.
So
Rekha is our resident Frasier expert.
no
for anybody
problem.
that's joining us
Any
now.
questions, just email us. I'll answer them.
I like that what happened so far is that Ali set out our itinerary,
Yeah, and then-
it ended with, and if The Last of Us comes up, Jacquis immediately says, let's talk about The Last of Us.
that's
And
good.
now we're
Immediately
talking about
off.
Frasier.
Yeah, we did it. That's how we.
What's to say if you're saying 1 through 4?
1 through 4. I feel like we could talk. We're not saying we will.
Okay.
But you know.
Let's jump into the rehearsal, because I know a bunch of people caught up on the rehearsal, right?
Yeah.
This one is one of my I just love this show so much, and I know that there are conflicting feelings on it, as there should be. It's a challenging show. So what did we think for the folks that watched the rehearsal?
It felt good to finally know who Nathan Fielder was.
Damn.
I was fondly remembering this morning that when Jacquis talked about Nathan Fielder for a whole segment, and then at the end realized that he was thinking of Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my God!
who I
I thought you
thought.
were thinking of Nathan Lane. So even I'm mixing up in my mind. I was about to fall in line, like Nathan Lane.
No, I was thinking Nathan
You thought
Fillion.
Nathan Fillion. I thought you thought Nathan Lane.
I will say this. It seems like a waste of time.
I'd say, yeah.
It seems like a waste of time, but I think that's okay. I think we need more shows that are a waste. I don't mean that in a negative way. I know that sounds negative.
What do you
Yeah.
think the purpose of TV is?
To waste time.
I don't mean that.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
I'm
Yeah.
curious. Like, do you think it should always be like thought provoking, or should always make us laugh hard?
And I do think this was thought provoking, but all right, let me say, all right, maybe waste of time is too
You want to
strong.
say
I wanna-
It's a
no, I
waste
wanna-
of money.
Yes, I want to support that, because I think that is a huge source of the comedy for me, and especially season 2, when he is now living in this, like, this is season 2. I probably have an even bigger budget than I had for season 1.
Yeah.
So much of the insane shit is like, you spent that much money, that much time to build this set.
The airport.
The airport is
crazy.
insane, right?
I was looking at that. I was like, they built an airport.
Well, I felt
for
that,
this man.
I felt that in the pilot with the bar. I was like, the
Yes.
level of detail here
Yes.
rivals like real full-fledged comedy shows don't get budgets like this.
It's crazy.
I successfully wrangled my 3 immediate family members into watching season 1, episode 1 of The Rehearsal, and they all 3 found it excruciating. Like, they were pretty upset at me, and I understand. But my dad was marveling at the amount of money that was spent to execute this. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of one of the tenets of the show, and I think that it you continue to watch it and go, I cannot believe the production value that is going on here. I cannot believe how much money they spent doing these absurd things. And I think that it acts as a comment on the amount of, I was going to say funding. That sounds way too...
The government
Public
subsidy that
access.
Yeah, that the rehearsal gets
yeah.
for alt comedy.
Yeah.
the, amount of
Budget.
the taxpayer money that goes
Yeah.
towards our television.
Yeah.
The
well, you-
tariffless left. I don't think people can understand the scope of like what we're saying if you've never watched this show. When I tell you they built an entire terminal of an airport,
As a
In
set.
season 2,
They-
episode 3,
it's even worse.
do you care if I say?
No, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
jump
They
ahead.
in.
make Nathan into a baby.
What?
A baby version of Sully Sullenberger. And
Nathan, if I can set this up a little bit, like Nathan goes into season 2 is tracking aviation safety, so it's about
Which,
sort of,
by the way, I know that you corrected yourself, Jacquis, but the original thought of this is a waste of time. I think also season 2 is specifically trying to counter for as television and with a budget, a TV budget.
Season 2 has this goal of how do we prevent plane crashes by making it an easier environment for a co-pilot to speak up when a pilot is doing something questionable or making the wrong decision or that kind of thing.
Which is really interesting.
So cool.
It's a really interesting like thought experiment, and like I'm also like, yeah, y'all should be fucking talking.
This Sully Sullenberger thing they do is basically because he's like, well, Sully is a pilot who seems to have a comfortable relationship with his co-pilot, and that the transcripts of him landing on the Hudson were like, what do you think? And like so many of the transcripts that Nathan has, the pilot never asks the co-pilot.
And that is why Nathan is trying to trying to live Sully Sullenberger's life from day one.
And
in Sully's book, he says it wasn't just my airplane training that led me there. My whole life was leading me up to that one plane crash. So Nathan starts as baby Sully Sullenberger.
But as a result, they have to create parents that are the size of parents. So they bring in these big puppets
Massive.
to lift up
Two-story
baby
puppets?
Nathan.
It is incredible.
Nathan, a 6-foot-tall man or whatever, looks like a baby in this giant scaled house and giant scaled crib.
Yeah.
He breastfeeds off of this
my
like
God.
puppet.
Breast chokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like, what is the money for? Right? Like, a waste of money. Yes, totally.
Yeah.
I think that's such a good way to describe that. Yeah.
Are we watching more? Are we digging in?
Again, I'm wondering like, what does this man have over everyone that we are watching billion-dollar budgets?
It's interesting to see alt comedy get that much money.
I promise you when I say as I'm saying this, I'm not shitting on it.
Yeah.
I think it's
believe you.
fascinating.
It's just perplexing,
Like,
right?
it is
I think he paid his
perplexing.
dues with Nathan For You. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously a ton of paying dues before that, but Nathan For You did a lot of these ideas on like smaller, scrappier budgets. That was on Comedy Central. So I think now there's a lot of trust that he's built there, and it's unlike anything else on TV.
Season 1 was hard for me to get into. I watched the first episode and stopped, and then this week I caught up. But season 2 has this through line that makes me want to continue. It's taking the anthology series and the like alt unscripted nature of it and giving it a serialized.
It's making it. It makes it feel more work. It makes it feel like, oh, okay, this is why we're doing this.
Right.
So this week, I have a question that I've been really wanting to ask everyone for a little bit now. This is from Summer House, which is a Bravo show about living in a summer house in the Hamptons, a quote-unquote share house. There is a character named Jesse, a male, and a character person named, oh my God, I'm blanking on her name. What's her name? Lexi. And Lexi comes into the house for the first time. Jesse has already been there last summer. And they get together really quickly, which is crazy because we've seen it before. It doesn't work out. So Lexi is kind of expressing to Jesse, hey, listen, I don't date casually. I have to be in a committed situation with somebody. Like I have to be exclusive to be sleeping with them. And Jesse's a lover. So he's trying really hard to not be a fuckboy. There's another cast member who is, I guess like polyamorous would be a good description of him. He has a lot of sex with a lot of people. He goes to quote unquote play parties, which are like, I understand, sex parties. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he comes into the house, Imrul is his name. He comes into the house and he brings back a new partner like 4 to 5 weekends in a row or something off the top of my head. And one time it's 2 women. And they are, the 3 of them, having a great time in his bedroom. And Jesse is like, what's up? Imrul's having a threesome right now. And he enters the room just to kind of see what's going on.
I've been in an apartment while 3 people were having sex, and it was the most miserable hour of my life. I was upset.
Okay, you did that.
I was upset. I was like, I don't want to fucking be here right now.
So did you knock and go in?
No, I was trying to sleep.
That's so
I think that's
so
a
bad.
normal
loud.
person's reaction.
He goes into the bedroom and is like, hey guys, just seeing how you guys are doing or something like that. And he sits on the bed, but he puts this was how he's pitching it to Lexi later, being like, no, I was being boundaried. I put my head at the foot of the bed, and so my feet were in the direction of all three of these other people.
Why'd you walk in the room?
This is
fair.
a dude who he sees an opportunity here. He's like, oh, they're getting loose with 3. I could be 4 if I just kind of play my cards right and I'm there at the right time. He's hoping for the fantasy of like, yeah, get in.
Can I tell you something? It's not even like if he plays his cards right. Like these people are like DTF. Like all 3 of these people are like.
That's what he's expecting then.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that he maybe knew that, maybe sensed that on some level. Couldn't help himself. He's trying to be in a committed relationship or situationship
He
with
had
Lexi.
FOMO. I feel for this guy.
Oh, shut up. So he goes in, he's being boundaried with his feet towards these people, and something happens. I think it was kind of like, join us. And he was like, no. And then Imrul says to one of the women, we'll just suck his toe. And she does it. And then there is audio of Jesse saying a comment. I'm kind of just wondering, is this an appropriate place to say this comment?
They said it.
What?
They said it.
They said it. He says, and I'm hard. Okay?
Yes.
And then he leaves, and everyone finds out that that's what happens. He does not tell Lexi. The girls tell Lexi. Lexi is very upset.
So that's his partner. Or
They are newly dating.
Okay.
And Lexi doesn't like to be in casual relationships.
And they all live in this house together.
On the weekends, yeah.
On the weekend.
On the
I can
weekend.
feel how bad your head hurts. Because I think mine does too.
Yeah.
so he got his toe sucked in their weekend house, and his new partner was there.
Yes. No, she wasn't there that weekend.
Oh, she wasn't there that weekend and then she finds out from someone else the toe sucker.
Yes. No, the toe sucker is like just
She's gone.
She's gone. Yeah,
So she finds out
from
somewhere
another
else.
woman another cast member who lives in the house.
Okay.
They're like, hey, this happened to Jesse. He got his toe sucked.
Okay.
And she's like heartbroken
Yeah.
and really upset.
Yeah.
And says, my heart still hurts after they talk about it.
Yeah.
What I want to know, Tawny's cranking on someone that can see her
I'm
face.
trying to control my face.
Yeah, no. You don't have to control your face.
You can tell us what you're feeling.
All of your opinions are valid.
Yes.
My only opinion is why I don't watch reality TV, because I don't want to know any of this. Like none of this is any of our business.
That is so real.
It's not any of our business. I don't want to know these people.
Yeah.
I feel sad for them. I feel sad for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to feel sad for them.
Okay.
That's one thing that I'll tell you.
I wish they didn't exist. Is that
That's-
okay? No.
What a
There you
wild
go.
departure from I feel sad for them.
I'm
I
swinging
wish they were
wildly.
no longer here.
You're like, I wish that I could put them out of their misery by canceling their existence.
I want to disappear. Something has to happen where I no longer know the things you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand that. So my reality question for you is getting your toe sucked by a random person and only getting your toe sucked by a random person cheating, or
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, Rekha's at the gates with yes, it's
I think
cheating.
honestly, I'm gonna say getting anything sucked is
Yeah.
cheating. I will go so far.
It's a slippery slope.
No,
let's
no.
Let's not create too broad a rule.
I'm gonna even say, not even just things on your body. I think if I was like holding a pencil,
Yeah.
and you started sucking it,
Yeah, infidelity.
I think there's
I'm sorry.
something weird happening
Eye contact or no eye contact?
Eye contact is definitely. If you're sucking a pencil and giving me eye contact, I think that's 100%
If I pick up
cheating.
your pen
Sex.
off the table and I'm just idly sucking it over here, is that cheating?
Oh,
If you're
not-
sucking your own pen, then you
No,
can do whatever
no,
you
someone
want. If you
else's-
want to suck your own pen, that's okay. If you're sucking my pen,
Wait, yeah, do
Yeah.
you have to be holding it, Rekha?
if I'm
Yeah.
holding it,
if you're
that's
holding
cheating.
it, absolutely.
That's totally cheating.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good rule of thumb. If anything's getting sucked, it's cheating.
Right.
I'm trying to think of it in the terms of like from Lexi's perspective,
Yeah.
right? I mean, obviously, you're doing something you wouldn't want your partner to know, so by definition, that's cheating. But I'm like,
Yes.
what? How would I feel? Like, there is a difference. Like, if he would have gotten, other parts of his body sucked, obviously, I'm hurt.
Name them.
the penis. I think the question that I would have to back up your question is, would you break up with him for this? Because like I would just be like, you're fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't even be like you cheated on me. It was just like,
But it might
I didn't
be a
know you were
turn-off.
this weird.
You might be like, that's so weird in a bad way that like I've got the ick.
I would have been like,
Yeah.
you might as well just, I would have rather you fucked.
I mean, there's-
Instead of just getting your toe sucked and then that's it, and then you come and
in
I
someone
find out.
else's threesome.
yeah,
Really?
all that,
That's
all that like
weird.
boundary dancing is really weird, and it's also like, you know, even aside from the toe sucking, it's like people were having a threesome, and you're like, I want to get in the same bed.
that's
as
what
them.
I mean, okay.
Come on,
It's
let's
just
just
so
be
weird.
let's stop kidding ourselves. You
Yeah.
want out, or you want more than
Exactly.
what this is.
Just-
It's what it symbolizes.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that. Jesse's defense was like, it was like funny, but then that soundbite is not. It was funny. He also
Yeah.
was like, he was talking about how unwashed his feet were. Tawny, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Tawny. I knew before I said that would be like literally.
I'm just sad now.
Devastating.
Tawny, I'm on
sad
the same
today.
page of like, I think most reality TV for me is hard because I'm just like, why am I hanging out with these people? I don't want to be here.
Okay, so I started watching The Residence. I've only seen the first episode. And it actually got me thinking about detective shows at large. At large? Like they're on the run? No.
Fits.
As a whole, we have a detective here that's one of our kind of savant type detectives that knows everything that like our very funny Ken Marino character does not seem to believe. Who's like, no, that's a dead end, you know, whatever. Do you guys have a preference in your type of like cool detective? Do you like a Sherlock who's like a brilliant man but like doesn't know the planets? Do you like a Gregory House who's like I'm crusty and nobody likes me and I don't like anybody but I know every disease? You
I
know?
like Monk. I like Monk.
You like a nervous detective.
Yeah, like I like that. I like it when their biggest weakness is their greatest strength.
Yes.
and they are. I mean, my sister the other day was talking about how the word savant is frequently it's so coupled with idiot savant. And I think it's kind of important that this person who is such a genius in some ways has so many weaknesses in other departments. I think that makes
completely
a really
agree.
textured character.
Yeah. What immediately came to my mind was from the anime Death Note. There's a detective named L who's like very much a savant, and he just has these quirky, like semi-disgusting habits that help. One thing is he's constantly eating sweets for like the blood sugar boost, basically,
So
for his head.
funny.
And he also sits like an insane person. Like on every chair, he's got his feet up and kind of like looking around. I love a detective like that who everyone else is looking at them like, what the fuck is wrong with this person?
Yeah.
But they get the job done. Also has no problem admitting what a low percentage of success his theory might have. You know,
Yeah.
he'll be like, there's a 10% chance that's it, but I'd still like to pursue that. You know, it's that
Self-doubt
kind of
is a
thing.
good flaw to have
Self-doubt's
too.
cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that.
Has anyone watched the Caitlin
High
Olsen
Potential.
show? Yes, High Potential. That's,
Yes.
Yeah. That is also coming to mind.
Yes.
That is a Goodwill Hunting whiteboard at night situation,
Yes.
but with a detective.
Okay.
She's solving crimes.
She's like a cleaning person
yeah,
at
right.
this police station. And
Oh, she's
crimes.
solving their crimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I only saw one episode. I should watch more. But I did kind of want more of her flaw to not be like just that she's like scrappy and whatever. Like, and like her flaw is not being like low income.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like I want there to be like a personality quirk. Like I think she is a little hot-headed.
I think she's supposed to be
Yeah,
hot-headed
which I like.
and crusty, as we
Yes.
said about House, and not sugarcoating things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Does anyone have a favorite detective?
Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. Like,
There you go.
I love detective teams that bounce off each other.
yeah.
I'll also
And,
shout
like-
out X-Files in that same
Oh.
model
yeah.
too, of like
Scully and
these,
Mulder.
these two ideological opposites that kind of, you know, maybe early on in the series they're very much like polar on these, and then they start kind of crossing over. Scully has a little bit of experience with the paranormal.
Yeah.
Mulder starts getting a little bit maybe more empirical about his stuff, you know.
Right.
Yes.
Because at a certain point, Scully starts to seem a little ridiculous because she's like,
Yes.
I'm just too skeptical to believe in aliens. And
Right.
it's like, you have for like 6
Girl,
seasons.
there are aliens
yeah.
everywhere.
everywhere.
So many aliens in
You
your house.
many.
were abducted
Yeah, they
by an
just look
alien
your ass.
yourself.
You're
They may have
unusual.
impregnated you. Yeah.
Do we all know that Coogler
I
is
was just about to bring
rebooting
this up.
X
He's
Files?
gonna
Oh,
reboot
hell
That's his
yeah.
next
Ooh,
project.
I had no idea.
I'm
That's,
so excited.
that's incredible.
Cannot
news.
wait.
All right, thanks everyone. That was Digital Diet.
We did it.
We did it.
Now you guys know, love me some wrestling. So follow me to Jacquis' Wrestling Corner. That's where we're going.
Do we get up and walk?
No, we're here already.
okay.
We're here already. It's a
Okay,
mental
sorry.
space. It's a mental space. I love a soap opera, and wrestling is the ultimate soap opera. It's theater, comedy, stage combat is great. This Saturday, depending on when you're watching this, or maybe it passed, there is a wrestling event called WWE Backlash. So everybody's heard of WrestleMania, Super Bowl of wrestling. Backlash is always the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania. It's like the backlash of the biggest event of the year, right? At WrestleMania, John Cena won his 17th World Championship, which is a record, the most championships recognized in WWE history. And he is also a heel now. He's a bad guy. He's never been a heel. And he is fighting and who is arguably in his 25-year career his greatest rival, Randy Orton.
Randy Orton?
Randy Orton.
It's like a donut place.
It's
Yeah.
like Randy Orton is great.
Sounds like an optometrist.
Maybe he is. Maybe he could have been. Randy Orton is a third-generation superstar, one of the very few. Randy Orton is considered like one of the best heels in WWE wrestling history, and John Cena was always a babyface, good guy. Now, for the first time in their career, those two things are switched. John Cena, 17-time champion. Randy Orton is a 14-time world champion, which is also pretty high up there. They're fighting in Randy Orton's hometown of St. Louis. And at this event, we don't know this yet, somebody who may be coming back as who John Cena beat with the help of Travis Scott for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Is another
Wait, how did
generation superstar.
I'm really sorry.
Go ahead.
I have a lot of questions.
Please.
How did Travis Scott get in the ring and
He got in the ring.
ruffle
Yes.
some feathers?
He got in the ring. He got beat up. But a month previous, or 2 months previous, Travis Scott, along with The Rock, beat up Cody Rhodes when John Cena turned heel.
Okay.
And so Travis Scott is supposed to be like a minion of The Rock.
I have another question.
Yes.
And I don't mean to offend your
You
religion.
won't offend me at all.
Okay. When you say 14-time world champion,
Yes.
17-time world champion,
Yes.
my brain goes, okay, so given what I know about wrestling,
It's scripted.
yes. So I'm
Yes.
like, does that mean anything? Is that
Here's
like
what it
equivalent
means.
of being like, he's this level of movie star because they gave him this many,
Kinda.
like, you know.
Because in order for the
blockbusters.
company to say you are our top champion,
Yeah.
you like are considered the one of the best in the business. And
Okay.
to be called upon to do that so many times
Okay.
is a big deal.
Great. I
right?
accept that.
It's almost like, it feels like it's like an MGM old studio thing. Like they own the actor and keep
Yeah.
putting them in like more and more
Yeah.
stuff.
So that's what's going on. Like, so it's gonna be a big deal. I think since I know a lot about wrestling, there's no chance John Cena's losing this match. It's just not.
Wow.
From a storyline perspective, it wouldn't make sense. I would love for there to be some break in parity, but it's not gonna happen. And you know, listen. One of these days, John Cena is going to lose because this is his last year. He's retiring from wrestling.
Really?
So a lot of times, like, people who are retiring their last match will be against, like, a younger superstar. And, like, beating, like, this legend is supposed to give them the, quote, rub.
They're passing the
like,
torch.
You're passing the
I
torch.
did just get chills.
Like
Yeah.
Rocky
I do like that.
6 or whatever. One of
Something
those,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
That is boxing, in
So
fact.
that is very much a wrestling thing. So John Cena will very likely lose
Not
his
to
last
well
match.
actually you from me, a big sports guy, but I just wanted you to know that is boxing.
Rocky? Rocky is
That is
sports.
boxing.
But there is a ring.
And that's sort of where I was.
And you know, and I stand corrected.
I was kind of tiny. You forgot about that similarity.
I didn't know there was a ring, so you know what?
Yeah.
Egg on my face.
I have something I want to do with you guys, though. Because John Cena and Randy Orton, very rare, those are their actual names.
I know. I'm like, wait, now the Federation owns their names.
Well, they own their own names.
What?
You can't own somebody's real name. But
Wait, then why doesn't everyone just go by their own name?
because most people's names are not John Cena or Randy Orton or like fun, So like, or some people just like, like Stone Cold Steve Austin's real name is Steve Williams. So some people just like to have, like have a character too.
Okay.
So like the Undertaker, like his
Yes.
character was like Dead Man, blah blah blah. So like it makes sense in that.
Yeah, it
in
wouldn't
that
work
way.
as well if his name was Herbert.
Yeah, or
Although,
Mark Calloway, which is his real name.
When I was a teenager and I watched a little WCW, I was a big Goldberg fan. His
Goldberg.
name's just Goldberg.
His name is Bill Goldberg.
I was a
There you
big
go.
Kane fan
Bill.
when I watched the WWF. I was a big Kane girl.
Kane,
His Undertaker's brother.
Undertaker's
but not
brother,
in real
but
life.
not in real life. Kayfabe.
Oh wow,
Okay,
they have
fake.
little fake families.
Yeah,
Yes.
So it is like drag.
it is 100%
Drag
like
houses.
drag soap opera.
I love it.
Is great. I love it. I want to play a game with you guys though. So I have in front of me wrestling names, and I have two. I have a real name and a fake name. Your job is just to tell me what you think is the real name and what you think is the fake name. Now sometimes the names are very like Kane. That's a good wrestling name. The Undertaker. That's a good wrestling name. But you also have names like Doink the Clown.
Doink.
Oh,
Doink
I remember
the Clown.
Doink.
You remember Doink
Yeah,
the Clown?
I remember Doink from the video game.
Yeah. So you never know what type of name you're going to get in the wrestling world. First things first. We are choosing between Beaver Cleavage
No.
or Slam Burglar.
So did you say Beaver Cleavage?
Beaver
Or
Cleavage.
Cleavage. A-G-E?
Cleavage. What were the divas? They were like women wrestlers.
Women wrestlers back when WWE was way more misogynist and terrible than it's trying to be now.
And
Yeah.
a lot of their names were horrible like that, like
Yeah.
Beaver Cleavage. So I'm gonna vote and say that might be real.
Oh.
Can I say why I think Beaver
The
Cleavage
doctor's
is
a
real?
woman. I didn't even think about that. The doctor might be a woman.
I think Beaver Cleavage is real because I don't know if you would have written that down.
If I would have written like Beaver Cleavage now.
I don't.
That's a good
I
tactic.
don't see that for you when you're writing the names. I think you're too nice,
That's fair. Thank you
and
so
I don't
much.
think you're
You
thinking about Beaver's
all-
cleavage.
You
Thank
all
you so
forgot.
much.
This is easy because you forgot history. Our 17th president was Beaver Cleavage. So I'm going with
Grover,
Slam Burglar.
Cleveland, Beaver,
Slam
Cleavage.
Burglar.
Grover. Oh no.
His boobs got stuck in a tub, right?
Okay, what is it?
It's Beaver Cleavage is the
That's the
real
right
That's the
wrestler.
real one. Yeah.
Real
And that
wrestler.
was she a diva?
I will say Beaver Cleavage was a wrestler that did not last long. I will
Okay.
say that.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
All right. Next question.
Rick Rude or Mr. Tickles?
now is it Rude? R-U-D-E?
R-U-D-E.
Mr. Tickles is so silly. I really want that to be real.
Yeah.
That's my vote. I just want it.
I'll go against Tawny and say I'm gonna say that Rick Rude is real.
Rick
I'm
Rude.
in Mr. Tickles camp. I hope he's another clown.
Mr. Tickles.
I think I might be playing like bad chess, but I'm like, I think Mr. Tickles is supposed to sound too silly, but I think it's real. So I'm gonna say Mr. Tickles.
So many steps ahead of this game. Right
Yeah.
there.
There we go.
I'm absolutely nailing.
The one who it is has the rare distinction of, because back when there were two wrestling promotions, WWF, WCW, one came on Monday night. Both of them came on Monday night, but one was taped and one was live. WWF was taped.
Oh, okay.
And he was on WWF's Raw, which was taped, and then WCW's Nitro, which was live the same exact night, as one of the only wrestlers to appear on both programs in the same day for each company. And that man was Rick Rude.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Rick Rude.
Hillary.
Oh my gosh, I had no
Richie
idea.
Rude.
Oh.
You nailed it.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne
I love that.
That's Batman.
or Bruise Wayne, like a bruise.
it's a pun.
Bruce Wayne
Drag
or
queen.
Chili McFreeze.
Oh.
Bruce Wayne.
It would suck if Bruce Wayne wasn't real because that should be taken.
It's a really good.
And
it's a really
Chili
good
Really good
concept.
one.
Yeah.
Feels?
McFree.
Chili McFreeze.
Chili McFreeze is so crazy that
Like
again,
a McDonald's
I'm like,
character.
Yeah.
someone's trying to trick me and it has to be Chili McFreeze, which is, well, the Slam Burglar was not real, but that was a McDonald's.
This is what I'm saying.
Character.
Wendy
Yeah.
the Bird, the Hamburglar,
Right.
I'll tell you what,
Grimace.
I'm getting hungry. After this, I'm gonna get a Slam Burglar and a Chili McFreeze.
I am Chili
Yeah.
McFreeze.
Mm.
I'll go Chili McFreeze for the hell of it.
Me too. Chili McFreeze.
Chili McFreeze.
Yeah,
Chili
I'm gonna say Chili
McFreeze.
McFreeze. I
Chili
think it's fun.
McFreeze is correct.
Wow, I didn't even say anything.
McFreeze. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I get a point. If teacher didn't give me the quiz, I get a point.
One last one. Ding dongs
No.
or Big Dick Johnson
Ding dongs is
Or-
it.
or Big Dick Johnson.
Why is ding dong plural?
Yeah. Wait, is it
Tag
a team?
teams.
A tag
Oh,
teams?
it's a tag. Okay.
I
Could be.
love it being a tag team of like two fake brothers or something.
Yeah.
We're the ding dongs.
Is it the ding dongs?
Just ding dongs?
I think I'll say
Ding
Big Dick
dongs?
Johnson's. No,
Oh.
Big Dick Johnson and Beaver Cleavage might be married.
Oh, sweet.
I like the lore.
The lore.
I want to say ding dongs is
Ding
is real.
dongs?
Yeah.
Ding dongs.
Ding dongs.
Ding dongs. 3 ding dongs, 1 Big Dick Johnson. All of you are right. Both of those names.
Oh, wow.
They
I
are
was
both.
really scared.
There was a Big Dick Johnson
Was Big
and
Dick
there was
Johnson
Ding
a
Dongs.
member of Ding Dongs?
No, he was
perhaps?
not. Ding Dongs was a tag team.
Okay, time to talk about some deep cut Rex, things that aren't necessarily current, but that are sticking with us.
I have been trying to watch this movie called Pacific Heights from 1990 for like at least a year. Honestly, like I keep on seeing it and being curious. I grew up next to San Francisco. That's a neighborhood in San Francisco, and it also just from the year and the image, I was like, okay, this is clearly like a gritty. Maybe not explicitly psychosexual, but I was like, this is something that I get in the mood for, is that kind of 80s or 90s film of like sussy and kind of dark and to me unserious, just because of the time that has passed. And Pacific Heights is currently airing on a streaming platform, I think Peacock. And the logline is San Francisco yuppies restore a costly Victorian home, then rent a studio to a landlord's nightmare, which like already I'm like LOL for making that a movie.
Oh my gosh. The
And-
most relatable protagonist, a landlord.
Yeah. And Michael Keaton is the landlord's
Love it.
nightmare. Yeah. Matthew Modine plays the one half of the couple, and Melanie Griffith is the other half of the couple. And Michael Keaton is insane, and it's really fun to watch him be like so spooky. Like, it's like to me a perfect movie to watch on like a lazy weekend day while you're just like sprawled out and not really. You're kind of like half on your phone.
I love it.
Incredible. I gotta
love
write
it.
that down. What is
love
it called?
that.
Pacific Heights. Okay, beautiful.
I was recently at a wedding and it was being hosted in someone's home, and out of the corner of my eye, 2 children ran through the foyer like next to us while we were like watching the ceremony, and right behind them came a sprinting Michael Keaton.
What?
And I didn't know he was in the home. I still don't know why he was in the home. He was not attending the wedding. And I just turned to my friend and said, I think I just saw Michael Keaton. And she just shrugged and was like, yeah.
What?
I still don't have a lot of answers
That's
for
a
you guys.
crazy
I love it.
story.
My
Yeah.
God.
I love Michael Keaton.
I love him.
Those
like
kids
Michael
seemed
Keaton.
scared of him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Damn.
It's Beetlejuice.
That's Beetlejuice. That's
Beetlejuice.
true. Okay, we can't say it a third time. No,
I
you
do.
go.
Well, my deep cut, I am a fan of classic cartoons. And as we all know, Max pulls everything that they own off of the platform. And they've done that recently with Tom and Jerry, unfortunately. A lot of episodes of Tom and Jerry. They pulled all the Looney Tunes off. But Tom and Jerry in its entirety is on Tubi right now. And I actually like it on Tubi because on Max, when it was on there, and a few episodes that still are, you watch an episode and then it can go to the next one or whatever. But on Tubi, each episode is 3 episodes, and then they do commercials in between, so it actually feels like watching like Saturday morning
nice.
cartoons,
Oh,
like in
cool.
a very cool way. So I love it. Look at that. So I love it. So that's my deep cut is, and a lot of like classic cartoons. Droopy is on there if anybody used to watch
yeah.
Droopy.
Oh, is that the dog?
That's the
Droopy
dog.
dog.
Yeah, Droopy dog. Yeah.
That inspired me because I also remember that Samurai Jack was on those
Oh,
list of shows that
yes.
was going down too. That's a deep cut. I did not watch Samurai Jack growing up. I think this hit around the time that We got our cable canceled because we hadn't been paying for it for a while.
Nice.
Which is a fun story if we do that sometime, when the cable person showed up to my door and like asked me and my sister, like, do you guys have cable? And we're like, yeah.
Tricked y'all. He
yeah.
knew to ask the kids.
It's terrible. But Samurai Jack, I watched it for the first time streaming like before it expired, and it's so cool. It's very much a show that like I could see being a good one for if you have, it's good a good show for kids 7 and up, I think, is probably the rating. And so if you want one of those shows that's like, yeah, you can watch it with your children, and it's also visually interesting. It's got that art style that is similar to Powerpuff Girls, but a little bit more stylized in that like samurai Bushido world. There was one episode that was very fucking cool where Samurai Jack has to fight a shinobi who specializes in being in the dark. And Samurai Jack is like, I also know this power. I specialize in being in the light. And the episode cuts to only black and white shapes where each person, like the warrior of the light is invisible when he's in the white side and the shinobi is invisible when he's in the black. So they're crossing over. And it's just like, this is like way too cool for an episode of children's TV. And
That's
so, yeah,
fun.
I was really impressed. I'll try to find more somewhere.
My rack is also on Max, and it's silly, but I recently watched the original The Blob movie.
Oh, cool.
Wow, that's fun.
And I don't like scary movies or horror movies. Not that I thought this would necessarily be scary or horror, but I just like didn't consider watching it for a while. And recently I've been trying to watch a lot more like lower budget movies since I am making one.
That's smart.
And it is so fun because, like you, Ellie, like I love learning behind the scenes stuff. It is so fun to see a movie made for an amount of money that like someone I know could have. So I think the original Blob, because there was a remake in the 80s, was $110,000 budget.
I love it.
I believe their original budget was $120,000 and they were under. They shot it in like Phoenixville and Downingtown, Pennsylvania. And it's just really cool to see like practical effects. There's like this one scene where the Blob attacks the Downingtown diner, I believe, or Phoenixville diner. And it is like clearly a miniature model. And it like looks bad, but it does what it's supposed to do.
Charming
and it's like
as hell, yeah.
it's very charming. And I find myself when I go to like super big budget like movies, like if I were to see some like $50 million whatever action movie, I literally don't even know if that's an expensive action movie. I'm so sorry. 100 million, 500 million.
That's filled, yeah.
$757 million action movie.
Wow, that's a lot.
I if they were to explain to me how they did something, I'd be like, oh, cool. The first step of that, I don't have.
I'm out.
I don't have any of that stuff. But then when I watch something like, I went to like an Indian Independent Film Festival this week, and I saw a movie there, and I was like, oh, I bet she did that. Like, and she was there, the director, and she was explaining how she did certain stuff. And I'm like, oh, I could figure that out. Like, that's so
cool.
It's just so much more accessible and interesting to me.
Yeah, I hear you.
I watched the original Little Shop of Horrors from like the 60s. Yeah. And like that was
Jack
filmed,
Nicholson.
Yes. And that was just like filmed in a weekend on the soundstage. I'm like, this is so cool. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, give me more of those movies.
Del Close appears in the Blob.
Yes,
Improv legend.
I forgot he
Close.
does.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes. So Del Close brought to life the Herald. The Herald is an improv form.
And we're out of time. Okay, my rec, because I'm always just behind the zeitgeist in what I think is a really charming and not at all grandma-ish way, is I finally watched the Academy Award-winning documentary Free Solo.
Oh, that sounds right up your alley.
It is right up my alley, but I avoided it, so it came out in 2018, and it's the documenting of Alex Honnold's first free solo climb of the nose of El Capitan in Yosemite. And I love outdoor shit. I'm not a mountain climber. I don't want to be a mountain climber. I love hiking. I love everything that's like 2 feet always on the ground, you know, or that's standing. But like 1 foot always on the ground would be walking and hiking.
Kind of scooting your feet.
I'm Tawny's hikes take a really long time.
Yeah, I pioneered this new type of hiking. This new type of hiking called forward moonwalking.
Sure.
No, but so I watched that doc and I was like, oh, I am not only in love with this sport, I guess, of just like climbing up a rock without a rope trope, but I really like these people. I really like Alex Honnold. So I like him so much that I just started listening to his podcast, which is a really well-produced podcast. It's called Climbing Gold, but also they get so in the weeds where he interviews other climbers, and minutes are going by with terminology I do not understand, where they're just like, there was a 15B crimp and I really had to do a karate over to it, but that's just what it is on Dreamtime. I'm like, I don't know what the nouns of that sentence were, but I'm hooked. I just like him as a person. I like his conservation efforts. I like how he's constantly like bringing cool women climbers on and like talking about the sexism they face. I'm like, this dude rocks. The other part of it is that Jimmy Chin, the filmmaker, he's as much a part of the doc because they're documenting how he is going to capture all these angles. And they're talking about, like, he's on camera talking about, like, okay, we can put a camera here, but when you go up this section they call the boulder problem, he's like, is that going to distract you? We have to make sure the cameras aren't
Oh my God.
influencing your climb.
So interesting.
That's cool
It's
as
so
hell.
fascinating. It's
Interesting.
Wow. I started sweating just hearing you say that.
It's so good. And look, if you didn't trust the Academy Awards enough, trust me, it's a great
I trust
film.
you more.
You're my Academy
I
Awards.
trust you more.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah,
We just found out they don't
They
even
don't
watch the movies.
Didn't you just
That's crazy. So they're just voting on vibes.
They're just voting on vibes.
I could do that. Let me in the Academy.
Yeah. Those were our deep cut recommendations. Check some of them out. Let us know if you liked them. Thanks everybody for your recs.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Because You Watched. We are here every week. If you like what you heard, subscribe, rate, review, comment, do it all. We're also on YouTube. So check us out wherever you get your podcasts and also on YouTube.